Hello. Hello. We're doing it. We're doing it, baby. We should be live. We are live. Oh, there's people watching. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? Welcome. We're getting started here. Listen, fresh off a Costco run. We're getting it in. Don't want to brag. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a good one. I'm excited about this. Let me just get it ready really quick. I mean, literally, like, just walked in from Costco, shoved everything in the freezer, so when my wife opens it, it all just falls out. Anyway, let's keep it rolling here. There we go. Are there people in the comments? Yeah, we have 17 people watching. We are about to do the Clean Comedy Contest for October. There we go. Thank you, Jerry. I was worried. I was like, are people out there? Hello? Hello? 1 second. Gotta get my jacket on. Yay! Walter! Hey, Walter. Okay, guys. Thank you for your patience. No, it's 12:04. But look, we're all gussied up just in time. This is gonna be good. It's been a doozy of a weekend, man. I've been out like past 1 a.m. every night this weekend. Like Friday and Saturday night doing shows. And then we were up early today to do Costco. And now we are here for the remainder of the afternoon. So just so you know, before we start this contest in a minute, we're doing this all afternoon. We're not going anywhere. So go ahead and buckle up and get your popcorn, because Daddy's avoiding the family the rest of the afternoon. Oh, that's just good, clean fun there, right? Wait, where's the sound effect? There it is. Cool. Well, there's a little delay there. Well, welcome everyone. Oh my gosh. Nicole Ratner, hello and good luck to all. Nels in says hi. Thank y'all for chiming in on the live chat. As we're at 23 people, we are about to start the contest. And fun fact, we're about to hit 41,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel. So if you are not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that button while we're here. And go ahead and hit the like button on this video, because I think that helps the algorithm or whatever. This is going to be so much fun. Yeah, Friday I did a couple shows and then went and watched Dave Attell. Just kills on a whole other level that doesn't make sense. Definitely worth watching if he's coming to your town. He's on tour right now. 100% worth going to see. And I did a couple shows last night. One of them in some like, it's like a community in middle Georgia called Serenbe. It's like its own community. Like they have their own schools, their own stores. It's like a bubble is what they called it. I feel like I was walking into Severance when I went there. But great show. And got some leads. You know, a lot of money in that room, which is what we are talking about now. My wife likes the sound of that. But it went really well, and it was a lot of fun. And then I'm super excited to be here with you. If we could just exhale for a moment. Because literally the past 2 nights been out past 1. And the baby's been teething and been awake. So just overall, every month y'all just see the slow deterioration. Every month y'all tune into these contests. But I think we're all here. I think it's time we go ahead and start. I think it's time. Yeah. Because we were at 23 people and now we're at 14. So people were not digging that part of the show. But don't worry. We are here for the contest and this is going to be a lot of fun. So thank you, Joan. All the way from DC, Dan Ratner says DMV represented well, excited. Yeah, I'm excited as well. This is going to be so much fun. So, let's go ahead and jump into it here. Officially, welcome to the October 2025 Clean Comedy Contest. Now, have you seen one of these before in the live chat? Let me know in the live chat if you have attended one of these before or if this is your first time. Interesting. Because how it works basically is every month we do this contest where comedians will get 2 weeks to write a new 60-second set based on the month's theme. This month's theme, in honor of Halloween happening this Friday, is fear. Ooh. Is fear. So that is what this month's contestants wrote their sets on, fear. And what your job is today is to vote for who wins this month's contest. So we have Walter, 3rd or 4th time. Good to see you, Walter. Jerry, season tickets to this contest. Joan, comedy contest vet. Nels, first time here. All right. Welcome, Nels. This is going to be so much fun. Scary Barry, you're just in time. We were just about to start the contest. I was just giving an overview of who had been here before and who had not, because basically how it's going to work is I will play each contestant's set, each finalist's set, I should say, the top 3 contestants this month. I will play each of their sets, and then you will vote live on this live stream to see who wins, and I will bring them live on the show to interview them, to post it as a podcast, and they also win $100. Yeah. So a lot at stake here. And if you're watching this and thinking, oh man, I'd like to compete in that. Well, I host it over on our Patreon. So if you'd like to compete in next month's contest, all you got to do is go join the Patreon at the Clean Comedy Contest tier. You'll see there's 2 tiers, one for the Clean Comedy Contest and then one for Clean Comedy Contest plus my feedback if you wanted like a personalized video feedback of your set you submit. So I'll put a link to that in the live chat here if you'd like to go join the Patreon, or you don't want to compete but you appreciate the hundreds of hours of free comedy educational content on this YouTube channel and you want to show the show some love, then you just want to go subscribe to the Patreon, get early access to a lot of the interviews we have coming up, and that's up to you now, because I feel like I'm whispering. Am I whispering or am I having a stroke right now? I'm so sleep deprived. My sets this weekend have all felt like fever dreams. Like at some point in the middle of every set I did this week, I kind of had to be like, so where am I? And what am I talking about? Because it's real. But that, it's a blessing. Babies are blessings. They're blessings. People say kids change your life for the better, which is so true. I really hated life before kids with all that sleep and money. Ugh, disgusting. I was living so selfishly, but now I am whole. So, let's get into the contest, shall we, officially? Let me pull up the videos. Oh my gosh. And also, I meant to tell y'all, I'm selling some Hot Breath t-shirts to the first 25 people that get one. So I just announced it last night in like a post in the Facebook group. We've already sold over 10. So very exciting there. We haven't really done Hot Breath shirts before, but we're going to bring them back, baby. We're bringing them back. I'm very excited about that. So I'll just put a link to where you can go see the shirt as well and go order the shirt at a discounted rate. So I think we have all the housekeeping out of the way. So I think we can officially start the contest. Yay! Beautiful. Would I consider doing a long sleeve tee? I would certainly be open to that, Sandy. Yeah, this one that I'm doing a pre-sale on right now, because honestly, I can't order them. Like the smallest batch I could order was 25. So I'm basically doing a pre-order. So when we do sell 25, then I can make the order and get all your shirts printed. But I would definitely do a long sleeve one if that's something y'all are interested in. I basically did this one because someone DM'd me asking. They saw I had the shirt on and they were like, do you still sell those? And I was like, oh, I wonder if people would be interested. And they are, which is very cool to see. But long sleeve, I'm certainly open to as well. I'm really just doing like small batch printing of them. But if long sleeve is something you'd like, I remember I had a long sleeve one with like red sleeves that I wore before. I could maybe do a run of those as well if people are interested. Or if you have a style that you would like, you could send them my way. Let me know. But yeah, that's very exciting. I like the enthusiasm around that, because that is a lot of fun and something, we're We're the dopest comedy community in the world. Literally the world. So why not have some swag about it? Why not show it off to the world that we out here? Cool beans. So, with all that being said, with all the announcements being made, I think we're officially ready to start the contest. So if this is your first time tuning in, thank you for your patience in my sleep-deprived weekend and starting this at now 12:15. So, without further ado, oh, and someone just bought a shirt. Amen. Won't he do it? Thank y'all. How exciting. Okay, focus, Joel. Focus. Focus, focus. Ladies and gentlemen, of the 2025 October Clean Comedy Contest, officially welcome. Officially welcome. I am your host, comedian Joel Byers here. I'm a professional clean comedian, and I have been hosting this contest for quite a while now. Every month, contestants will compete for $100 and an interview on Hot Breath Podcast that features interviews with over 400 other comics. So a lot at stake here. And basically how the game works is these contestants were doing basically 2-week challenge where they get a theme and then they get 2 weeks to write a brand new 60-second clean. That's the challenge here. 60-second clean set in just 2 weeks. And then my wife and I watch the submissions together, and then we pick the top 3, and then I play the top 3 for you to vote live on the show to see who wins that $100, and I bring that person on live right now to be interviewed and answer your questions as well, which just right out the gate, let's give a round of applause. The comedy historian just hit us with a super chat. Oh my gosh. Ooh. How exciting. Thank you, comedy historian. Nice meeting you this weekend. Attell was great. Yes. 2 YouTube comedy titans met this weekend. We both went to watch Dave Attell at Helium here in Atlanta and absolutely crushed it. It was hilarious. Definitely worthwhile seeing if he comes to your part of town. And definitely worthwhile going to check out the Comedy Historian YouTube channel as well, for shizzle. And I think they're also a clean comedian, so this contest could be something you'd like to do sometime. Even though you don't have to be a clean comic. A lot of the people that compete aren't even clean, and they use this contest as a challenge and accountability to write clean jokes they can then do on stage. So it's fun for everyone. But with that being said, basically how it's going to work, as I bring up your finalists here, we had Dan Ratner, Sandy Bernstein, and Chris Scholl. Those are your finalists this month. And basically how it's going to work is I'm going to play Chris's set, then I'm going to play Sandy's set, then I'm going to play Dan's set. And then I will post a poll in, and after each set, we'll come back here and then you can share your favorite parts of their set and your favorite jokes and things like that. It's a very positive experience here. And then, and I am positive that I am positively sleep deprived. I may be on that point where I was out late doing shows and then also up with the baby that like maybe in that fun part of sleep deprivation where you start to like hallucinate. So maybe in the middle of this, I'll just start like licking the air. I don't know why that's where. Maybe I'm chewing the air. All right, let's move on here. Anyway, everything's great. Anyway, so we're going to play Chris's set, Sandy's set, then Dan's sets. Then we're going to vote. Then we're going to bring the winner on live, and they're going to get $100 and an interview on Hot Breath. So much fun. I love getting to do this every month. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and pull up the first set. This is so much fun. All right. So the first one up is going to be Chris Scholl. So, ladies and gentlemen, hot brethren and sistren,
let's get ready to rumble!
your first contestant, Mr. Chris Scholl.
People call teachers fearless. That's because we stop feeling anything. Junior highs are like haunted houses, terrified faces, sudden screams, and people begging to get out. And those are the teachers. But haunted houses only run in October. I do this all year long. Fear kept us in check when we were kids. They drilled stop, drop, and roll into us like we were human candles. Kids today, they just film it and put it on TikTok. Hey, my boyfriend's lit. I fear junior high kids the way I fear poison ivy. No matter how much you treat it, a new crop pops up every year. I just accept the rash. Plus, it's easier to blame my red face on the ivy than the Merlot. My buddy's a plumber. He says he's going to homeschool his kids because he fears teachers let students fall through the cracks. Great, a plumber lecturing me on cracks. I tell you, if you want to put the fear of God into junior high students, unplug the Wi-Fi. It's kind of spooky. Without the Wi-Fi, suddenly every kid looks like an adult at work, staring at the wall, clicking pins, and waiting for happy hour.
Woo! Yeah! There you go, kiddos. There you go. Your first finalist of October, Chris Scholl. And just a friendly reminder, the theme this month is fear. So as you're watching these sets, a few things to consider. How do they use the theme of fear creatively? How unique is this set to this comic? Like, are they writing jokes that are unique to them and their point of view? And also just how many laughs are in this 60 seconds. It's very hard to write a lot of jokes in a tight 60-second window. So that's a big part of this challenge, is packing in the punches, and a big part of the grading and review criteria. So keep those few things in mind as you're watching these sets. Oh, and Sandy liked the Poison Ivy and Merlot. Yeah, that was a great one. Dan Ratner likes the unplugged Wi-Fi. Do this all year long. Yeah, that Merlot one, that Merlot joke's very funny. I mean, several funny ones in there. Everyone that you see today is going to have some funny jokes. Really funny set, Chris, says Joan. Oh, I love the positivity coming in here. I love the positivity. I love it. I love you. Wi-Fi unplugged, so true, said Nicole. Great number of jokes packed in, said Jerry Kroll. Yes. Yep, that was a nice tight set there. That's why he's in the finals. And there were a few, like, each month, I mean, it literally, a lot of the times, my wife and I are able to whittle it down to like 5 or 6 finalists, and then we have to go back and like rewatch and really analyze and be very thoughtful about who makes it to the finals. And that's why we have that grading criteria, because sometimes it falls back to, oh, this set was really good, but it just didn't have as many laughs as like another person's set that does make it to the finals. So there's just so many, and I get it, comedy is subjective, but if anything, you know, my wife and I watching these together, it's just fun quality time. You know, now that we have a baby, we've been able to watch it with just in bed while the baby's asleep with like earpods in. So it's been a fun bonding thing. So I know comedy's subjective, and one person's like big laugh, maybe another person's, I don't think that's funny. But I like to use my professional experience of 15 years in comedy, and then my wife's professional experience at judging to to do our best. So we appreciate all of you that do compete and get so much out of it, even beyond winning or losing. Everyone leaves with new material, which is a big win. So there you go. There's Chris Scholl. Now we have 2 more, my friends. We have Sandy Bernstein and then Dan Ratner. So keep in mind Chris's set, what you liked, what you didn't like. And we're going to move on to the next one. Let me drink. Vodka. All right. So your next contestant, prepare yourselves.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Sandy Bernstein.
My therapist thinks I should look in the mirror and face my fears. At my age, looking in the mirror is my fear. Face my fear? What if my fear is my face? She asked, "What is your biggest fear?" Feelings. She said, fear is a feeling. That just scared the crap out of me. I finally found a Valentine's card that says exactly what I feel. It was blank. I thought, wow, this author really gets me. There's actually a word for the fear of feelings. It's called alexithymia, but I'm afraid to say it because Amazon thinks I'm ordering something, which I am, blank Valentine's cards. My therapist told me that unless I leave my comfort zone, I'll never experience personal growth. I said, really? How do you explain these hips? I told her I'd programmed my GPS to avoid difficult intersections. She asked, do you think maybe you've programmed yourself to avoid difficult situations? And I was like, recalculating.
Yay! There you go. Your second finalist there, Sandy Bernstein. Coming in hot with that set. Another great set. 2 in a row. Nice toit sets there. Dan liked My Face Is My Fear. Scary Barry liked it. Nicole Ratner, Faces Fear is funny and Alexa part. Yeah. Chris Scholl says, great set, Sandy. Recalculating. Yes. Oh, looky here. Looking handsome, buddy. Thank you so much. I'm running on 8 hours of sleep for the week, but I certainly appreciate your kind words there. Joan liked the personal growth and the closer. Yeah. A lot of good ones packed in there. This is gonna be a tough one because all 3 of these sets are like they fit a lot of that grading criteria. The bar is really high this month. I'm very excited. I love seeing people perform month over month and keep getting better and better. It's very exciting. Yep, Jerry liked the personal growth and the explain these hips. Yeah, that's a winner. But that is a winner. Perhaps we have one more finalist, and then you will vote. You watching live right here. Hey you, hey you, hey you. You will vote for who wins. So I don't want to persuade anyone in any way. Everyone competing today has some winner jokes that is worthwhile the victory, but it will be up to you to decide. As we have seen Chris Scholl, and we have seen Sandy Bernstein, now we have one more, which is Dan Ratner. So without further ado,
let's get ready to rumble!
I present to you Dan Ratner.
On the topic of fear, I have a 14-year-old daughter. On a daily basis, I'm not low-key frightened or mid-scared. I'm just no-cap panicked, bruh. Aside from the obvious language barrier, every day with my daughter is like stepping into a floating shark cage wearing Lady Gaga's meat dress. If she oversleeps her alarm and I lightly knock on her door to wake her, she goes full Game of Thrones fire-breathing dragon on me, but with words. She goes to school wearing oversized hoodies, hiding undersized shorts and Crocs on her feet. Ugh. Yes, or sometimes Uggs. I caught her on Instagram looking at AI content. And in this case, AI stands for all inappropriate content. At the dinner table, with her hormones, I'm not sure whether we'll get a scene from a Hallmark movie or a Real Housewife glass of lemonade in the face and a flip table. At bedtime, I kiss her goodnight and put my sweet little dragon to sleep, knowing I'll wake up to a new episode of Game of Hormones the next day. Winter isn't coming. It's already here, bruh.
Oh, give it up for Dan. and his traumatic parenting experience. So funny. Oh my gosh. See, 3 great, unique submissions. That's why they're all 3 in the finals. All super tight sets with their unique points of view on the theme of fear. So the job is up to you now, my friends. I have posted the poll in the live chat with each contestant's names for you to vote for who you think should win. But as you're voting, keep in mind, yes, how many laughs did they have in that set? How unique is this set to that comic? And how, like, on theme is it? How creative did they get with the theme of fear? So, have no fear. Get your votes in. We will give it just a minute here, just to get your votes in, and then we will bring the winner on live. I see we have a question about how to overcome stage fear. Perhaps when I bring the contestant on, we can get into that. Chris said, I love this set, plus the way he did Blair Witch Project style was hilarious. Yeah. Game of Hormones, Jerry liked it. Joan liked the Lady Gaga meat reference. Thank you. Sandy said that's what you have to look forward to, Joel. Yes. What a blessing. What a blessing. What a blessing. Love the meat dress Uggs and Game of Thrones. Game of Hormones is hilarious. Yeah, that was funny wordplay there. And don't forget, if you're watching this and want to compete in next month's contest, all you got to do is go join the Clean Comedy Contest tier of the Patreon that I will link in the live chat here. Or if you don't want to compete and just want to show love, you can just join any tier. And all that certainly goes a long way in helping keep the lights on here and keeping the weekly free comedy interviews. I don't know if y'all have seen the interviews that we've been dropping lately. I don't know if you've seen the content we've been rolling out on social media. We are in full content swing now. Greg Warren, Kalen Palufo, Derek Stroop, Kev on Stage, and many more to come. I've basically been sitting on like 12 interviews that I just haven't gotten around to getting out, but I found a hot breather who has been helping me get this stuff out, and it's very exciting. So the Greg Warren episode had a lot of good writing techniques that I hadn't heard before that I think would be very helpful to y'all. But as we are looking at the votes here, we have 26 votes and 29 people watching. So if you haven't voted yet, get your vote in. But it's looking like the winner may have been decided. Get your votes in. We will give it another, what do you say? It looks like it's pretty decided here. But for the sake of officialness, we'll give it one more minute. Nah, we'll give it 30 seconds. Oh, or we'll give it 0 seconds. Yeah, we'll give it 30 seconds. So get your last minute votes in here. 26 votes, 27 people watching. I think we could safely call it. What do y'all think? Especially since I didn't start the timer and I just pulled it up. And all right. Without further ado, it looks like with 27 votes and 27 people watching, salute to all of you for participating in this. Our winner is Sandy Bernstein, everyone. Give it up for Sandy. We're gonna get Sandy in here to come live on the show. Sorry, Dan said if he won, he was gonna get a Hot Breath shirt. Sorry, y'all. But if y'all do want to get a Hot Breath shirt, I just put a link to it in the live chat. So let's bring Sandy on here. What I'm gonna do is I will play her set, and then bring her on live. I'll do like an intro, like it's the podcast. So you guys are getting behind the scenes here. Oh, look at all the love coming in for Sandy. Yay! All right, here we go. What time are we at? So I know the timestamp. 38 minutes. Let me write that down. 38 minutes. It's a good timestamp. All right, here we go. Welcome back to Hot Breath, the show where you learn comedy from the pros. I am your host, comedian Joel Byers, and this episode is with the winner of our monthly clean comedy contest. Every month, comedians compete to win $100 and an interview on Hot Breath. So if you want to compete in next month's contest, just go join the Clean Comedy Contest here on our Patreon. And maybe you'll hear yourself live on the air. Like this month's winner, a contest regular. She's won it several times. It is Sandy Bernstein. We're going to play her winning set and then bring her interview to you live. Enjoy.
My therapist thinks I should look in the mirror and face my fears. At my age, looking in the mirror is my fear. Face my fear? What if my fear is my face? She asked, "What is your biggest fear?" Feelings. She said, fear is a feeling. That just scared the crap out of me. I finally found a Valentine's card that says exactly what I feel. It was blank. I thought, wow, this author really gets me. There's actually a word for the fear of feelings. It's called alexithymia, but I'm afraid to say it because Amazon thinks I'm ordering something, which I am, blank Valentine's cards. My therapist told me that unless I leave my comfort zone, I'll never experience personal growth. I said, really? How do you explain these hips? I told her I programmed my GPS to avoid difficult intersections. She asked, do you think maybe you've programmed yourself to avoid difficult situations? And I was like, recalculating.
Yay! Yay! Sandy Bernstein.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Just the champ is here. You're running the contest.
Well, thank you. I had some very stiff competition, I'll say.
There were tight sets this month. Like there were several that were just like boom, 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 boom. So it was not an easy win.
No, definitely not. I mean, if I wasn't in the contest, I would have had a very hard time choosing.
So how did you approach this one? I mean, the theme was fear for maybe people that don't know. So how did you start to develop this set? Give us the goods here, Sandy, so maybe someone can listen to this and maybe win next month.
Okay, well, I started to brainstorm things that I was afraid of, and one of the things was traffic circles, and now there's so many, like in the suburbs, but I mean like urban traffic circles where there are multiple lanes, and my friends in the DMV can attest to that, like DuPont Circle, and I'll avoid those areas. But I couldn't really think of too many funny scenarios based on that, and it's not an unusual fear either. So then I thought, well, what am I really afraid of? And I thought, well, I'm kind of afraid of people asking me what I'm afraid of. So I kind of started there.
And then you kind of took it to, okay, you're afraid of people asking you what you're afraid of. So then you're like, okay, who could possibly be asking me this? And then you came up with therapist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What would be your favorite joke from this set, would you say?
Definitely the closer, the recalculating. Mm-hmm. That was one of the first ones I came up with. And then the hips.
Yes.
So, yeah. So those two were my favorites. I had one that I really liked that never got any laughs. I mean, I tried it in front of a live audience a few times, and so I had to cut it, but it was probably good that I did. It was something like, I'm so out of touch with my feelings, I couldn't recognize them if they were in a police lineup. And I thought that was good, but apparently, it's not my call. The audience is just weren't digging that. So I got rid of that one. And I only got to perform what became the final or close to the final draft one time. And it was in a very noisy environment. And there were these two guys at the bar talking so loud that my phone recorded them and not my set. But I don't think there were that many laughs at the time, but that's probably because people couldn't hear what I was saying. I don't know. But
Yeah, people didn't even know there's going to be comedy. Yeah,
yeah.
those are the best shows where they're like, people are just there to drink and they're like, oh, wait, there's comedy? Now there's crazy people in the corner yelling? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was supposed to be on another show and I got canceled that morning. So I was
Mhm.
desperate. So I drove an hour to this other show that I
Drove
knew.
an hour for it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I knew it wasn't necessarily going to be that helpful in terms of, and actually that was the one part of the set where I lost them. The other parts of the set
Oh.
of established material I'll perform much better. So I didn't have the most confidence, but I was like,
But
well,
you
this
still
is what I
wrecked it.
have,
Yeah.
and so
That is the best worst part of new material is when you like sandwich it in between stuff that works and the new stuff is clearly like so not as good as the rest and you're just like sinking. I feel like you're in quicksand when you're doing new stuff that isn't working, and each time you try a new joke you sink deeper and deeper into the floor.
right. And I thought, well, this is only a minute. It's not going to tank my whole set. I couldn't get these guys' attention back.
Right. Oh yeah.
It basically tanked my whole set.
Yeah, in an environment like that, as soon as one thing they don't like, they're like, oh, never mind. I'll just go back to watching one of the 50 TVs that's on right now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all part of the game, though. That's for
Yes,
sure.
it is. Yeah.
But kudos for you for repping it on stage, though, because I was thinking, I feel like these jokes would fit, like, in your set. Like, they seem like they would flow into your natural style on stage anyway.
Yeah, which is kind of, what I'm aiming for because I'm
Mhm.
trying to develop more and more clean material. Because, for instance, I think it's November 5th, but in just a couple weeks, I have a gig, and it was booked when I was like hosting at my home club, Give a Hoot Comedy Club in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Shout out to them. And so afterwards, somebody said, "Oh, do you do this?" Privately, and I know what you say, Joel, is to always mention that, and I always forget to mention it. you
Mhm.
know and so I was like, yeah. So they hired me, and it's like a Unitarian church. It's like a senior sort of thing in the middle of the day. So like I followed your advice to try to get as much clarity as possible on how clean it has to be. So
Yep.
I was like, hey, you saw my set, so is that pretty much okay? And they were like, well, your website says you clean up nice. And I was like, okay. Obviously, my
Uh-huh.
offerings are not what they're looking for. So thank goodness I was running my contest entries from the last several months, and of course I've expanded on some of them, and that created like 20 minutes of material. I have to go for 45. I have other clean material, but that helps
Yeah.
a great deal.
Yeah. Holy cow. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
And if you need to
And
fill time with crowd work or rubbing the walls or crying, you can always do that as
exactly.
well. That
Oh,
is
perfect. And of course, it helps me when I host because they prefer that I be clean, even
Mhm.
though the headliner isn't necessarily clean, but you don't want, like you've said many times, it's hard to get back from, if the person before you is filthy. It's really hard to come back with a clean set unless the crowd is totally grossed out by that. So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The show I did last night was there was some dirty. I was
mhm,
definitely the cleanest person on the show,
mhm,
and you could tell a difference as if like the crowd was relieved.
mhm.
Because some
Right.
of the dirtiness it's just like cussing. A lot of comics cuss on stage just unnecessarily. Like if they just didn't cuss, the set would be clean. And
Right. Yeah.
it's something I see over and over again. Just cutting out the cussing and you could be clean basically.
Yeah. I wish it was that easy for me because I really don't cuss very much, but it's the subject matter a lot of times.
But
So,
you've taken on the clean comedy contest route very
mhm,
well. I mean, because that's something I remember before it was clean and it was just like a monthly contest, and I didn't make it clean. I remember like my wife and I'd be seeing your set because she always, of course, lights up when she sees Sandy's in the contest.
Oh, thank you.
But it was like, oh, she could do that joke in a way that's clean and it still be just as funny or not funnier. So now with these parameters and to see you excel with that challenge, I mean, we knew it was in there the whole time, Sandy. We knew.
Well, thank you.
Of course. Yeah, that's part of the challenge is really, I just believe in the power of clean comedy and the business of it as well. And you can just book more and get paid more when you can be clean. It's
Yes.
really that simple.
Yeah.
So I believe it's a skill every comic should at least have.
Oh, definitely. And you said it many times before, clean is green.
Yes, it is. Yes. And we had a question in the live chat here. I think Filmy Maverick had asked how you overcome stage fear.
Right. You just force yourself to do it. You do repetitions. And I think the key is to really be prepared because,
Mhm.
a lot of anxiety comes from like, am I going to blank out on my lines, or I'm not sure what I'm going to do for this set. And if you just make sure that you are prepared, of course, there's still going to be instances where you blank out. But if you're prepared, that takes away a lot of the anxiety. And also to try not to put so much pressure on yourself, but that's hard, especially like if you view a show as high stakes. But when you're starting out, most shows are not high stakes. And yeah, that's putting it mildly.
sure.
And ironically, the first paid gig I ever got was a result where I was in a show and I was bombing. And,
Mhm.
but I got the paid gig and I bombed there too. But
You were consistent.
I mean, exactly. But I mean, he hired me. He's hired me since, and I haven't bombed, so that's
There we
good.
go. Yeah. Yeah,
So
the
you just,
preparation is big.
yeah, and you always have to give it your best try, even if it's BS and it's a total, you know, SHIT show. You
Mhm.
still have to. You never know who's watching. I had one show like at like a jazz night or something, and it was pretty awful. It was like 10 degrees outside, and there was snow, and there was hardly anybody there. Nobody was watching. But apparently, somebody who was watching that I gave my business card to passed it over to a friend who booked entertainment at senior centers, and this was before the
Mhm.
pandemic. So I got a lot of paid gigs off of that
Yeah.
one really crappy one. So you
Yeah.
just don't know. You just never
You
know.
never know. That's why you never want to phone in like a
Mm.
set, or just even if there's not that many people there, so you kind of just dumb down your set or the room and you make fun of the room instead of just doing your sets. Like
Mhm.
there's so much benefit to one of those 5 people, like you said, could be someone there looking to book talent somewhere. So you just never know who's in the audience.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
very real.
Yes.
Yeah, and thinking on going dirty to clean, how, because I think there's probably some people listening who are like, oh, I'm dirty, I could never be clean, that's not for me. But
Mhm.
like how have you been able to kind of start making that transition, because you were like dirtier and that was kind of like your almost like your instinct, your impulse was just to go in that direction. So how have you started to kind of reroute your comedy writing into a cleaner direction?
Um, just being very intentional about it. I mean, I still, if I have like a thought or something, I'll still write it down. I won't try to repress or suppress my creativity. But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, what are some other avenues, or is this really funny? And also, as a necessity, as I get older, there's a certain yuck factor. And like nobody wants to hear their mother or grandmother or aunt talk about, getting nasty. It's just, I would just get more and more yuck from audiences and audiences. So there's that yuck factor, and there's kind of nothing worse than that. You know,
So
I
your
actually,
standards have raised, yes.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, I do have a actual joke or bit where somebody used me in the audience, and but I don't know, it's not a clean bit. Well,
Yeah.
use a cuss word or two, and so yeah, but yeah, so that's very real. But I guess just being intentional and trying, not to like take the easy way out. Cause yeah, you know, being shock humor is easy, but you can only take that for so long, especially now that I'm doing longer sets.
Yeah.
What people used to laugh at in a 5-minute set when I was 11 years younger is no longer works.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of out of necessity.
That's good self-awareness, and also just the intentional like action of writing in that direction, but not stopping yourself from having the dirty thought, like still allowing all that to come out, but you just don't stop there.
Right. And also, working with other comedians, I had a joke, and they said, well, why don't you just say cat call instead of call? And I was like, oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that works. So I was like, yeah, Joel, if Aaron remembers some of these jokes that could be cleaned up, I'm all ears. I know we're going back a ways, but
Oh yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
if you think of any. So,
Yeah, because I mean, I just had Caitlin Palufo on the podcast, who arguably can be one of the dirtiest comics you've ever seen.
right.
And I mean, she kills in a way that just is kind of depressing. Of you hear the laughter and you're like, oh, that's where comedy is. So she kills in that way, even though she is dirty. But we
Mm,
talked about on the show how she'll even clean up stuff by just changing certain words and just little
right.
adjustments there, and it still be just as funny and not nearly as vulgar.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that was a great interview. I watched them all. I just watched the Greg Warren one, so he had some good tips, and I watched his special on YouTube,
Yeah,
and I
he
enjoyed that.
kills.
Yeah,
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 I loved his technique talking about like writing, one, the journaling and the free writing, but then also like your premise, writing that at the top of the page, and just taking 5 minute sprint to just try to write as many things that come to mind about that premise.
right.
So it kind of
And then,
forces like a very specific, focused like writing style that's still more conversational, organic, and not as like quote formulaic.
right, and just having several pages and only allowing yourself to spend so much time on each page.
Mm-hmm.
And was it he did he say the thing about, like, kinda like listening to your set in the background and not really intently, like, while you're
Yeah.
doing dishes and stuff? I'm gonna try that because a lot of times in the past, I'd be, like, watching it really carefully, and somebody would say, "Well, yeah, you did this, you did that." I was like, "I didn't see that," or
Mm-hmm.
said it was like, "Oh." Maybe if it's just kind of on in the background, I can you're less emotionally invested and biased, and you can sort of pick up some things that you wouldn't normally pick up
Yeah.
that are
Yeah, yeah.
obvious
And
to everyone else.
it's also it's kind of like, if personally, if I listen to a comic too much, I'll start to sound like them.
Right.
So if I listen to myself more, then I start to kind of pick up on my voice more, is what I've started to notice.
Yeah.
But mainly I'll just do it like when driving, like after the show. I usually just do a voice like memo. That's usually, I don't do video that much, even though I know it's valuable, but I kind of do what's most sustainable.
Hmm.
And I found I'll listen to audio more than I would sit down and watch a video. So I'll usually
Hmm.
listen to it while I'm driving home from the show, while it's still top of mind, and just passively as I'm driving, not necessarily trying to get anything out of it, but just that discipline of listening back and seeing if anything sticks out. But that's part of
Right.
it. Yeah, reviewing is a big part of it.
Yeah. I mean, I film everything, and of course, the hardest sets are to watch are the ones where you're bombing, and that can be painful. But
Mhm.
they say you can learn a lot from that, and yeah, it's true.
Yep.
But I hate to say it, but no, I just that would be my other point of advice to people. If you can, just film every set, buy yourself a cheap tripod on Amazon. So you don't
Hmm.
have to depend on other people, or leaning it on a beer bottle and having it fall over in the middle of the set. Yeah, and just and just videotape everything. You could just save it on YouTube as a private or an unlisted link, and
Hmm.
it's also helpful because you're like, okay, I was just there like last month. What did I do? And what hit,
Yep.
what didn't. So it's just data, just collecting as much data as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big part of it, and I consider it writing as well. I consider reviewing part of the writing process. And you'll think of new ideas and new edits just from, reviewing your sets. It can be just as productive as sitting down trying to write something. Just reviewing what you already have is another valuable use of your time for sure. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. And I also, I keep a notebook and I grade all the jokes like, A, B, or C. And
Mm-hmm.
that might have been a tip that I found that you gave me. So I do that as well. And, there's some people that get really technical that print out transcripts and, use different colored highlighters and stuff like that. I applaud them, but I'm not that person.
Yeah.
I have to keep on top of it. Otherwise, if more than a few accumulate, then it becomes a real chore to have to go through them all. Like, I got, if I'm hosting for a weekend and I have all this stuff to go through,
Mm-hmm.
the hosting, which is valuable too. But
of course. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's been great to see your consistency over the years. Years now. Sandy,
Yes.
we're growing up. Oh my gosh.
Remember back in the pandemic, I didn't even know what a punchline was. I could do it for like 5 years, but
Hilarious. Oh
yeah,
my
I
god.
can't believe it's been more than 11 years for me, and I know for you now. What is it like,
Over
15 or
15. Yeah, over 15. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah?
That's what I had a comic after one of my shows this weekend asked me how long I've been doing it. And I was like, 15 years. He's like, oh, yeah. Because he was like complimenting my set. And then he was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. He's like, and I was
Right.
like, yeah, that's how long it takes.
I mean, it
You
took me
know?
a very long time to develop an intolerance for not enough laughs. In other words, it's all about being concise
Yeah.
and just and punchlines and just getting to the point, because so many people, myself included, when they're new, make the mistake of, oh, this is a humorous story, this kills with my friends, and no,
Mhm.
that's not stand up. That doesn't work in front
Yeah.
of strangers.
May not translate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where can people keep up with you, or if they want to reach out to you after hearing this?
Sure. I am on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok at Sandy Bernstein Comedy.
Cool.
And I have a website, sandybernsteincomedy.com, so they can find me there as well.
Perfect. Yeah, and I will link that in the show notes as well as a link to joining next month's contest if y'all would like to compete.
Yes.
But
Are you starting that? Are you starting that tomorrow or a week from tomorrow?
It's going to be a week from tomorrow. I'm going to give people time to register for this one. So if I did it tomorrow, new people may be like, oh, it's too late. So we're going to do it the following. So it'll start November 3rd. It'll be the November contest. Yes. Thank you for asking, though. Sandy has always been very maternal in that sense of, hey, Joel, what are the adult details of this thing you're trying to do? I was like, people need to know these things.
Yeah, well, you really threw me by just like last month, like, doing it like the very next day, because I was going on vacation and I wasn't even sure I was going to do the contest. But then I do most of my like work on the weekends anyway, and I was back by the weekend, and I actually had some downtime during vacation where I could, brainstorm ideas. So I thought, well, I actually have a little bit more time to work on it, and I thought I wouldn't have any. So that helped. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for always keeping me on track. I appreciate you.
But don't forget, Thanksgiving's coming, so you have to, and the
Of
holidays.
course, that's why I was gonna do it. Wait, 1, 2. It should be the weekend before.
Yeah, it will be, because
It'll be the weekend before, so it'll go before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it'll be like the 23rd would be the finale.
It will
I
be.
guess.
Yeah, you know. I'm looking at my calendar on the wall, like, yep, Sandy knows all this. Yep. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Sandy. Hop Breathiverse, go follow Sandy. Go reach out to her and say you enjoyed this episode.
Right, and I got 2 plugs real quick. I'm doing 2 shows in Frederick. I'm do shows all over, but I'm actually involved in a fundraiser called Over the Limit Comedy Festival in Frederick, and it's on Friday, November the 7th at the Weinberg Center for the Arts in Frederick, and it raises money for the Safe Ride Foundation. And they have an app. It's the whole idea is to keep drunk drivers off the street. So they have an app called, I think it's SOS Safe Drive, that basically you not only get a ride home, but somebody drives your car home too. So that's it.
Whoa.
Maryland, Frederick, and that area. So that's a great cause. Todd Berry is headlining that.
I just
And
saw that. I pulled up the website. Yeah.
yeah, and then a week later, me and my producing partner Walter Gottlieb are producing a show at Seventh Sister in Frederick on Friday the 14th, and it's like a forkful of laughs. So that's a new show, and we're looking forward to that. We got a great headliner, Missy Hall. So
Yay.
fingers crossed on that. It's in this area. I don't know if it's affected Atlanta, but it's been very challenging for comedy. Ticket sales have been terrible. In the last 2 weeks, I've had 7 shows cancel, including one of my own.
Wow.
So it's very
Yeah.
discouraging. I'm hoping things turn around. The government shutdown and everything.
Yeah, I was about
So,
to say, yeah, that doesn't help anything.
yeah, is that affecting things in Atlanta at all? Or
I mean, my monthly show I do, Funny Fridays, there were less people at this one than the previous. But the shows I did otherwise this weekend were all well attended. I'm sure it's affecting it in some levels, but the ones I'm doing so far, they've all still had good crowds and stuff.
yeah, no, in this region, we've just taken a beating. Like a show that we normally sell over 100 tickets, we had to cancel it because we had like 15 or
Oh
17.
man.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's and like I said, so many other shows that I've been on have been canceled. So just
But you're up in
hoping.
that area too, right up in
Oh
the
yeah,
DMV.
big time. We're like in the epicenter of it all. So
Yeah. Man, yeah, hopefully it ends quickly.
yeah, but
But
no, but I know the Over the Limit is going regardless. So
beautiful. Well, yeah, and those are all linked on your website as well, I see. So people
yes,
go to sandybernstein.com to check those links out as well.
yeah, SandyBernsteinComedy.com.
sandybernsteincomedy.com. It'll be
Yeah,
in
so
the show notes.
right. Hopefully it's up to date. Hopefully I've like taken off all the canceled shows, but yeah, so it should be up to date.
It's good enough. You have a website. That's more than most comics can say.
Yeah, yeah, that's helpful. And old school business cards. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, no, I want to get to the point where it's just a QR code people can hit with their phones, but I'm not there yet, and the cards seem to be working. So,
Yep. Whatever works for you.
yeah,
Well, congratulations, Sandy. Of course, as always, congrats on winning again. Well deserved. Awesome set.
thank you, and thank you for all that you do for free. And whatever people are starting comedy, your website is one of the first. Your different online things. That's the first place I direct them. One of the first places.
I appreciate that. I love getting that feedback and seeing people out at shows that almost every show I go to now, there's a comic that says something. Like in any scene I'm out or here in Atlanta, which is always so rewarding.
Yeah. You have any plans to come to the DMV? Not the drivers. No, but Baltimore, DC, Maryland, Virginia, that area.
Not in the immediate future.
Mhm.
If there's an offer I can't refuse,
Okay.
I'd go up there. But I don't have any plans at the moment.
Okay.
No,
Right.
I've been keeping it more local with the new baby in the house and all
Sure.
that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a good dad here, Sandy. I'm trying to be attentive.
Yeah, I kept thinking what Dan said. That's what Joel has to look forward to.
I know. Oh my gosh.
14
I
years.
love hearing that. Yeah, that was a really funny one.
That is
Well-
scary. I'm sure for you especially.
I can hear her on the other side of the door. That's why I'm just hiding in here. I'm just like, we're doing this all afternoon. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for hanging out with us on your Sunday afternoon here. So we will adjourn and get everyone back to their lives. But Thank you so much for everyone for hung out with us. And Sandy, congrats again.
Thank you very much, Joel. I appreciate it. And thanks everybody for watching and tuning in. Whether you voted
Yes,
for me or not, I have no way of knowing. So
you nailed it. So have a good day, Sandy.
thank you.
We'll see you next month.
All right.
All right. Bye, y'all. Bye. All right, kiddos. Thank you for hanging out. I love you all so much. Go forth with your days, my friends. I appreciate y'all hanging out. If you want to join next month's contest, just go join the Patreon. Or if you want one of those Hot Breath shirts, I have both linked in the live chat for you to take advantage of. But I genuinely appreciate all of your time hanging out today. So keep on keeping on out there, comedy fam. I'm going to go be a dad, relieve my wife of duties for a little bit. But y'all are so awesome, and I appreciate all your valuable time and all you do to keep this the best, most supportive comedy community in the world. And we'll see y'all at next month's contest. All right, y'all? Bye, y'all. Have fun. I love you all. Have a good day out there. Bye.